Hey, it's Othania here with Create Your Future. So today I have two subscriber questions. So today we have a 2-in-1, and we're going to get right into it. So the first email asks or says, me and my special person were on and off for a year. 2 weeks ago, he broke it off with me, but we decided to be friends. I can tell he still cares about me, but now he's being extremely cold, and I don't understand where the change has come from. He used to be kind and loving. Any tips on how to get my special person back and change his attitude? So, yes. So, right away, what I can pinpoint is that um you're now you went from being aware from him being kind and loving to you, and now you're more aware of him, that he broke it off with you. So before we even get to the broke it off part, before he broke it off with you, there had to be some type of dominant mental space of fear that you were in order for you to build that momentum, in order for him to break it off. Okay. And you were on and off for a year because your thought process with him was on and off. You went from thinking, oh my God, no, he loves me, to, oh my God, he did something in the 3D, and you rolled with that and you took that in and you really believed that. And then you started creating a thought process that was unfavorable. So then, being that consciousness is one, he had to reflect that, and he had to start being cold with you until you started being more in a mental space that was loving towards him again, and that is when the hot behavior started coming in again. You can tell that he still cares about you, but now he's being extremely cold, and I don't understand where the change has come from. So the change is coming from you being aware of what he's doing wrong more than what he is doing right. So what can help you is, and what I always tell my clients as well, is getting your thoughts on paper, because it's better to see what you're thinking and you could get more organized with your thoughts that way. Um, it's better to see what you're thinking. So write down all the ways that you think he's being cold to you, and then write on the opposite side of that, the next right next to it, you want to write down how you want him to be, and then start um cultivating and coming up with the thoughts surrounded with that set of changed thoughts in the positive list instead. You want to do that and stay there and focus on that, and not focus on when is he going to come back, and when is his change, when is his behavior going to change. You want to focus on, do I feel like my subconscious is impressed enough with what I actually want to happen? When you focus on impressing your own subconscious mind instead of actually focus on what the person is doing, you get faster results that way, because you're not focusing on the 3D. Trying to figure out what the person is doing, their behavior and all that stuff, is focusing on the 3D. And you want to make sure that you're focused on you want to make sure that you focus on a thought process that serves you more than focus on what's happening in the 3D. So any tips on how to get your special person back is, okay, let's start getting into more favorable thoughts about him instead of having a thought process of you being afraid of losing him. And let's get into the thought process of knowing that he loves you, that you have him, so that way you can ride that wave of thinking and maintain those circumstances that are more favorable in your actual reality. So you don't want to focus on so much of changing his attitude, because it's like, I want to change him, I want to change him. Okay, you can affirm and change him, but then when he comes back, you still haven't really probably fully focused and changed your subconscious mind to what you really want it to be. So you don't waver, and it's not you going hot and cold and him being off and on, and repeating that cycle again. So you don't want to focus on changing his attitude. You want to focus on the thoughts that you think about his attitude, and worry about changing that, because when you change that, his attitude towards you is automatically going to change. So you want to focus, if you think he um is being cold to you, you gotta say, you know what? I let everything go. The past is the past. I'm not focusing on that anymore. But from now on, um, him and I are in the greatest place and things are just going to be more better than ever. You want to start focusing on more positivity with him as opposed to focusing on what went wrong with him. And when you maintain that mental space, you will start seeing the circumstances maintain that feel more good to you as well, because life has no choice but to reflect what is dominantly happening and going on in the subconscious mind. And you want to make sure that you get rid of this story of thinking that he has a bad attitude. You want to get rid of the hot and cold off and off for a year, because when you ruminate on the past, what you're not realizing is that you're keeping up that same story. So you want to just drop that, and you drop it by just telling yourself that you're dropping it and you're not going to keep ruminating and thinking about that anymore, because it's gone, it's done. And what you want to focus on is what's coming and what's better with you and your person, and you and your life in general, because what you focus on grows. And you want to keep focusing on the past, because you can't focus on so many things at one time, right? Like, even if you're looking in the microscope, it has a limit of focus. So when you're focused on that one thing, that is what you're focused on. You get what I mean? So you want to make sure that you focus on the right thing. So that's for the first subscriber's email, and I intend that I have answered that fully, and I intend that my answer can take you on to the next step and actually grant you and give you the experience that you actually want. And then for the next question is, I'm sorry guys, I think this is it here. Okay. What is the best way to respond when you see SP in a photograph with a 3P and all looking too happy? How to cope when that hurts? Okay. I've been through this before, and now let's be honest with ourselves. How are we seeing these photos of our person with another person, with a third party, right? Like, how are we seeing these photos? Are we always going out of our way to check their social media and see and peek? Because if we're doing that, we're in a state of lack. And if you're in a state of lack, you have to get control of that state and change it. Because if you don't, you're going to continuously take actions that you feel like you have to search and look and see what's going on, because you're not trusting your own power. You're not trusting your own subconscious. You're not trusting your own thoughts. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, how am I really seeing what's going on with SP and the third party? Am I taking actions that are coming from a place of lack? Okay, so if you are, then you want to kind of stop doing that, because those actions are maintaining and keeping those circumstances that you don't want locked in. But the reason why you're coming across your SP being with the 3P as well is because that is what is going on in your mind. That is what you're thinking about. You're thinking about your person being with someone else, when you should be just thinking about your person being happy with you dominantly. That's not to say like, oh my God, I can't, but think about anything negative, which is, the point is not to, right? But when those thoughts do come up, the point is not to attach to them. Okay, you had a negative thought. No, whatever. No, I love my person and we're going to have the best love ever. And I'm going to attach to those thoughts and then write that. So you want to make sure you got to understand the contents of your mind. What are you thinking about? If you're thinking about your person being with another person and you're constantly thinking about that and it's causing an emotional reaction in your body, and you're constantly thinking about that, your reticular activating system is going to just have to find ways for you to see that. It's going to cause you to lose your free will to the state of lack and fear and take actions for you to see that. So you have to back up from the photographs and wanting to see what's going on and get control of the contents of your mind, because what is going on is only coming from the contents of your own mind. So you have to understand that if you're seeing your person with someone else, is because you have dominantly thought about them being with someone else, and there was a fear that you got stuck in. And you just have to kind of snap yourself out of it and understand what you're doing, if you're taking actions from fear or if you're being in trust. So looking all too happy, I mean, how many people always look happy in their photos? You know what I mean? People are not going to um, always want to post themselves looking sad, right? So you can't really go by how people look happy, because there are so many people that look happy that are like they're really not. So you know, you don't really want to go by that. But um the only reason you're seeing what you're seeing is because of the contents of your mind. If you were to just find a way to, for example, like someone, even if someone's to come up to you and show you a picture, like, oh my God, look what I've seen, you know, look at this, and they show you like a picture with your person and someone else, that is just because it's ruminating in your mind, and circumstances have to happen for you to see what was going on in your mind. I've been through this before, when and everything I was thinking about him doing with that girl, they were actually doing. I was creating that. So what is the best way to respond when you see a SP in a photograph with a third party? You don't react, you don't respond. You have to do your best to not have any physical or emotional reaction to that as much as you can. Understand that, damn, I was thinking about something that was in a fearful way about me and relationships, or me and my person in general, and this is what it created for me to see. Circumstances has to reflect that. That's law of life. Okay. Now, from now on, I'm going to drop that. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to focus on that. And I'm going to focus on me feeling happy and focus on feeling good. Because when you focus on feeling good, circumstances are automatically going to shift and have to reflect you feeling good. And everything, including that person, is going to have to work in your favor. And you won't have to worry about seeing any photographs with a 3P, because you're in a state of feeling good, and that does not match your state of feeling good. You know what I mean? So if you're seeing a 3P and how to cope when that hurts, it's also you're actually believing the fearful thoughts in your mind, which have to create your circumstances. Because that's just how it works. The subconscious takes what you're thinking about. It doesn't understand a fear or joy. It just understands what you're thinking about. And especially when you have a thought that's like action packed with an emotional charge, that's definitely going to create, for sure, whether it's a negative or emotional charge. Even things with a regular neutral charge, they manifest as well. But fears, when you're really like that energy, that type of thinking and that type of anxiety that creates that type of sensation, which is like, you know, that cultivating feeling in your body, that is what pushes out the unfavorable circumstances. And you have to understand that, get control of that, be aware of that, and do the opposite of that in order to get the opposite results. And that is doing your best to calm down the urges to check things and want to see things, because when you are with your person, you're not checking for anybody to see who they're with. You're with them. You're with them. And you know that, and you trust that. And that is what you want to emulate. That is what you want to get to. So, Um, so yeah, I would suggest that if you are looking to stop, because that means that you are in a state of full trust. And in the state of full trust are the circumstances that are completely favorable. So how to cope when that hurts, if you're hurting, okay, feel your feelings, let it pass. Understand and be aware of what's happening and why everything happened. Let your feelings pass, let it go, let it through, and then from that new starting point, because every second is a new starting point. from that starting point, once you let those feelings go, start with the thoughts that put you in that reality of you being with your person, where there are no three P's, there are no other people. You think about you taking pictures with your person and you being happy. You have to put yourself and your mind with what you want and not see others with what you want. I used to have trouble with things like that. And I'm glad I have a complete better hold on things, way better control. And it's all about controlling your mind, because a lot of people don't realize that their thoughts are creating their reality. A lot of people are not realizing how powerful that their mind is. And a lot of people are just not realizing a lot of things when it comes to themselves. So, yeah. So, um, do not put things into your awareness that you do not want to see more of. Okay? If you want to be that person that's in control, you have to finally get a grip on yourself and have the thoughts that you want to have, because there's no shortcuts. No one else can think for you. You have to think for yourself. So you have to, and you must see yourself happy. You must see yourself in your mind with your person. Get fed up with yourself, because you got to get fed up with the old you, and start thinking with a better mental space and a better mental process, and everything will follow that, because everything is following the contents of your mind. Everything is the contents of your mind, you know? Down to planning vacations. When you want to go on a vacation, you plan your vacation, and then you're in the reality when you're on the plane, when you're on the train, when you're on your road trip, taking your vacation. Then you're there, you're experiencing it, and then you want to be with somebody, and the next thing you know, you're having conversations with them, and the only reason why the relationship goes wrong is because you start thinking about what can go wrong, and you started thinking about what can go wrong more than what can go right, and then so it's just like everything is your mind. Down to the clothes you wear. You wanted those pants, you wanted that shirt, you wanted that hoodie, you said you wanted it. Down to the food in your fridge, right? It's everything. So take responsibility, take accountability, be honest with yourself, because on being honest with yourself and what's going on in your mind is what's going to be the key to this all, because that's the only way you can change it. So you have to start seeing yourself also as being enough, because when other people or when other things come into your relationship where it feels like it's blocking you from what you want, it's also stemming from you not feeling good enough, feeling like you can have it. So you have to see and analyze, what am I thinking about myself in relation to love? What do I think about myself in relation to the things that I want to have? What do I think about myself in relations to me being successful? You have to analyze what's going on in your mind instead of analyzing what somebody else is doing outside of you. And I say that with love, because I've made that mistake so many times before. And I get how hard it can be, especially when people have certain backgrounds and certain things that have happened to them. It can, take sometimes take a longer time to get a grasp on how to get control of the mind. But once you do, you will see that that that's what it was. It was all about getting control of your mind. And once you do that, you cannot fail. So understand that you are always enough for the person you want. You're always enough for love, because we are love. It's our natural state. Um, and I intend for you as well that whatever I said, something has helped you. The penny has dropped, and you can take this and take this to the next level to be able to help you not only in love, but also in life and things in general. Always see yourself worthy of having the things you want. Even if you have your little down moments, it's okay, but just pick yourself right back up. So yeah, I intend that I answered both of your questions. And for both of you, see yourself as chosen, see yourself as love. For all of you, anyone that's watching, um, see yourself as love, see yourself as the one. Um, and everything in your life will have to meet you there halfway. And you have to finally say to yourself, you know what, it's time for me to just really be the new me. And I'm going to be the new me no matter what. And I'm going to keep going, and I'm not going to give up on myself no matter what. And I'm going to make sure the focus is always the contents of my mind, because everything out here is just the contents of my mind. So if you're focusing on everything outside of you, trying to get people to change their minds and their behaviors and doing this, that, you're still coming from a place of lack, and you're still going to keep perpetuating the things that you're trying to change, because you still haven't changed yourself yet and your perspective about them and how you think about them. You still feel like you have to do something physical to change, when you just have to change the contents of your mind, which will naturally cause you to take actions where you don't even realize you're taking to get you to your desire. And it's going to cause the people, places, and things around you to shift and match your new state of mind. Okay? And that is just how it works. Everything is just shifting. Everything is just shifting with you. Okay? And everything is just reflecting you. And if you're interested in coaching, with me, the link for that is in the description box below. And if you're interested in a free course from Create Your Future, the link for that is also in the description box below. So until next time, guys, see you. And happy holidays.